In 7 Little Johnstons, tension comes to a head when Amber and Trent sit down with Ashley, Jonah's girlfriend at the time, during her weekend visit. What begins as a seemingly calm family meal quickly turns into an interrogation. Amber makes it clear there are important things that need to be discussed, and soon the conversation shifts toward Jonah's recent struggles. Ashley admits she has noticed changes in Jonah. She explains that Jonah confided in her about his depression and anxiety and that he has been seeking help. From her perspective, those efforts have led to positive changes in his behavior and mindset. However, Amber and Trent reveal that when they discovered Jonah had been using substances, they became extremely concerned and started monitoring him more closely. That included reading private messages between Jonah and Ashley, messages meant to stay between a couple. Ashley later tells the cameras that this revelation scares her. She immediately begins replaying her own words in her head, wondering if she said anything she shouldn't have during moments of frustration. Jonah, in his own confessional, admits that under normal circumstances, he would have been furious if his parents went through his phone. Given the seriousness of his substance use, though, he understands their fear and partially sympathizes with their reaction, even if it crossed a line. Amber argues that a healthy relationship requires honesty and communication. According to her, what she saw in the messages showed neither. She believes Jonah and Ashley were both dishonest and wrote things in anger that ultimately hurt Jonah's family. Amber explains that when Jonah's behavior started to spiral, he left his phone in Elizabeth's car. At that point, the family didn't know what Jonah was taking, how long it had been going on, or whether Ashley was aware. When Amber read the messages, she says she was deeply disappointed to see Jonah making excuses to avoid visiting Ashley while portraying his family as the problem. Ashley's angry responses, some involving name-calling toward Amber, confirmed, in her mind, that the relationship was unhealthy and disrespectful. Back at the table, Trent adds that Jonah repeatedly lied and avoided seeing Ashley. He even jokes that when he was Jonah's age, he would have gone to see his girlfriend no matter what, even if it was just to hold hands for a few minutes. Amber says her main priority is helping Jonah get back on track. While Jonah has told her he needs to focus only on himself, Amber disagrees, insisting that relationships require accountability. She pushes him to make a choice: fix the relationship or take a break from it. Trent emphasizes that the family is essentially starting from scratch with Jonah, rebuilding trust step by step. Jonah says he understands why his parents are now involved in his adult relationship. He doesn't see them as helicopter parents, but as reacting to his mistakes. He believes that once he stabilizes his life and health, they will step back again. Ultimately, Jonah concludes that pausing or even ending the relationship may be best so he can focus on becoming healthy and successful. At the table, Jonah says that if Ashley is willing to wait and continue supporting him, putting the relationship on pause doesn't seem like a bad idea. Amber agrees, reinforcing that Jonah must prioritize himself. Trent ends the conversation by saying he's glad everything is out in the open and suggests Ashley may need to head home soon. Now that everyone is supposedly on the same page, he expects improvement or changes will need to be made. On the way to the car, Jonah asks Ashley if she expected this conversation. She says she did, and that while it was uncomfortable, it brought clarity. To her, a break doesn't mean a breakup, but a chance to slow down, grow individually, and reassess the relationship. She also says she appreciates hearing Jonah's parents' perspective and acknowledges that the future of the relationship is now uncertain. This entire situation raises a bigger question. At what point does parental concern cross into a violation of boundaries? Amber undeniably overstepped by reading private messages between two adults. Most people vent in private, say things they don't fully mean, or express frustration in moments of anger. Being exposed like that is humiliating and damaging. Yes, Ashley said hurtful things, but those comments were fueled by Jonah presenting his parents as villains. That doesn't excuse the insults, but it does contextualize them. What remains unspoken is even more uncomfortable. If Amber read angry messages, she almost certainly read intimate ones too. Conversations about desire, vulnerability, and closeness. Things that belong solely to a couple. At that point, the issue goes far beyond disrespectful language. It becomes a complete invasion of privacy. Concern does not grant permission to invade. Love does not justify control. Fear does not erase boundaries. Amber may say she was searching for the truth, but truth taken without consent doesn't heal, it leaves scars. And once that line is crossed, the real damage isn't just to a romantic relationship, but to trust itself. Because in the end, The question isn't whether Ashley said something offensive. The real question is, who protects Jonah from a love that suffocates?